talk about Gear 20. It just launched tonight, and it is a huge increase on certain characters. Odin gets 900,000 health and 58,000 damage and 2,000 focus. That's before multipliers. Because right now, Red Stars give a multiplier, Gear or ISO gives a multiplier. So I believe it takes him from like 13 million health to like 16 million health. Let's find out. I took him up to 16.5 from like 13.7. So yeah, that's huge. He just gained ridiculous damage. But there's other characters that are traps. Let's look at like Agatha for example. Agatha and all of the rework characters get nothing. I mean, she's getting 230 focus and 280 resist. Like, who cares? Um, some of the more middle ground characters like Apox getting 50k. Like, and usually that's like Illuminati. That's going to be everything in that era. The Horsemen. Um, Black Knight gets a little bit more, I believe. Black Knight's getting 228,000 armor or health, and then 11,000 armor, some resists. So certain characters may be more worth investing in than others, and pulling the trigger on the right ones is going to be important. Right now, I'm thinking Odin for sure, possibly our current arena meta. What I think will be the future arena meta, which if you haven't checked that video out, it's also in my playlist. Um, so check that out. That's a good watch. And let's talk about gear tier for just a second. I still think don't overinvest. We got the event going on right now. It's super player unfriendly. It's really a Wallet Warrior event, and they're going to release it in the free to play method sooner than later. With one thing I did want to talk about though is they changed how much it takes to make some of these items. It for gear tier 20, it takes 25 per on both sides, and on the pieces that take gear tier 20, it takes 15 of these. So they added a 50% increase on these costs also. When or sorry, a 33% increase. So it's G19 and G20 both are scarce. We've also got these pieces. There's 25 now instead of 18, so they increased that as well. So everything just became way more scarce. Um, so we are going to have to be picky about who we take up and who's going to make the cut. I think Odin makes the cut all day. Even if he's not going to be arena meta, he's still an amazing character. It's so we just need to make the right choices on who we take up. Super Scroll is still an amazing character. He doesn't get quite the stats that some of these characters get, but he's still up there. Where's Mephisto? Mephisto still gets a ton of stats. Like, he's less than Odin, but he still gets an absolute ton. So go slow. I will try to make a tier list on what I think might be some of the better characters, but just to name a few, Omega Red Phoenix Force, he gets an absolute absurd amount. Odin gets an absolute absurd amount. Um, Thanos Endgame gets a ridiculous amount, just to name a few that I've noticed, and I still think they're going to be meta. Emma Xmen I think is going to be meta, and potentially is going to be one. Null when he comes out, which I think is next week. If you haven't seen that, Kahori, all these recent characters, a lot of them get a ton, but there are a few that are not so great. Like a great example is Peggy Carter. She doesn't get any damage; she just gets health, which is still good, but it's not quite as good. So check it out. Don't overcommit. Things we need to be worrying about right now is the arena. Arena is where we get our cores. The next thing that we're going to be worrying about is probably our raids, and that potentially could be where Gear 20 comes from, is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting we're going to get it from raids and the gold store plus this new holiday store. So I'm hoarding gold. I'm kind of hoarding resources to see where they put Gear 20 because that's where our priorities are going to go. It's not going to be these war characters. It's not going to be Crucible. Like, it's all going to depend on where Gear 20 goes. So slow down. Don't overinvest. Keep your resource income coming in. We are back in a new game again. As you see, I'm piling gold again. Um, so hold up, pause, don't overspend. But if you like these kind of videos, please come check out my other videos that I've got going on. Subscribe, thumbs up my videos, leave comments, tell me what you like and don't like. But I'm gonna keep commenting and sharing as I find more information about Gear 20 and what the best way to go about it is. But right now, I'm thinking Odin is for sure a safe bet.